Denise Yezbak Moore, and today we are going to learn how to make stretchy bracelets. The tools and supplies you will need to create stretch bracelets are round nose pliers, wire cutter. The brand I use is Lindstrom. You will also need a clip or some masking tape on the end of your cording to stabilize it, and I like to use GS Hypo Cement for my knots. You will need stretch cording. These are two different brands that I absolutely love for stretch cording. This one is Stretch Magic. This one is Elasticity from Beading. Both of them are great brands. The sizing, this particular one is 0.5 millimeters. So this is a super thin cording. It will break easier. What you will use for this type of cord are tiny, tiny little holes. So I only use this cording if my holes are super small. These pearls are from halcraftcollection.com, the manufacturers of Bead Gallery beads. We have a few other sizes. We have 0.7 millimeter, 1 millimeter, the largest, and we have 0.80 millimeter. The $1,000,000 question is what cord size to use. You should use the largest cord size that when you form your knot, you can hide it inside your bead. Bigger is always better. This is 1 millimeter. It's very thick. It will hold up longer, but you will need a large hole bead. See how big that hole is in that bead? This bead will hide a 1 millimeter, a 0.7 millimeter, and a 0.80 millimeter knot. So what do we do if we have beads we want to use and we don't want to use 0.5 because we feel like it's too thin and we want to use a larger cord? The cord will fit through most beads. The problem is that last bead that we have to hide the knot in. We can drill out one bead, make the hole bigger to hide the knot. This is a bead reamer from Beading, and you can see it's been well loved. I've used it many times. It's battery operated. I'm going to show you how to make this bead hole larger. You're going to get a little container of water and your bead reamer, and we're going to put that in. And we're going to go under the water. And we drilled it down. You can see that the hole is much bigger. So we'll do it once again on the other side. I'm just kind of placing it in there, turning it on. It's right about there, right? And it went all the way down, and that made the hole bigger. How do we measure the length of our bracelet? Well, you have a couple of different ways. You can buy one of these bead boards. This one is well loved. It's kind of trashed. I purchased this bead board at actually Michael's, and you would just put your beads around. This is a 7 1/2 inch bracelet, 7 inch, 6.5, 6-inch bracelet. You can pre-measure your beads that way, or you can do it the way I do it. I pre-strung this strand. I like to put it around my wrist, make sure it's a little above that last bead, and that's how I measure my 6.5 inch wrist. So let's get started. I like to use about a 10-inch length of stretch cord. This one is 1 millimeter because I am using a very large hole bead. The first thing I do after I cut it is I pre-stretch my cord. I go through and I stretch it. It makes the cord longer and it will keep the shape of your bracelet after it is created. So just kind of go through and stretch it a little bit. Our next step is to attach something to the end of your cording. These little attachments are called bead bugs. I also got these at Michael's. You can get the bead reamer at howcraftcollection.com. So just attach it to the end. And the first step I always do is whatever the biggest hole in the bead is, let's say it's this one because this hole is so big. That's why we're using the 1 millimeter, is I string my big hole bead on first. I then string all the beads that I want onto the strand, and see how it matches from here to here? And then of course I showed you before how I measure for myself. I measure it on my wrist. And then I come over to the other side and I remove the bead bug. This is how I like to form my knots. I know every designer is different. I really think this knot stabilizes the piece. I have a bracelet that I wear every single day, and I've probably had it on for about 1.5 years. I only take it off when I do the videos because it makes a lot of noise because it has charms on it, and it is still in great shape. So we're going to add some tension and we're going to wrap it around our fingers and we're going to cross right there. We're crossing both of those strands, and I'm just holding that with my finger. Now I'm going to come underneath with my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab them and pull them through. Can you see that? Then we're going to go back underneath those strands. We're going to grab it, and I'm releasing my fingers, and I'm pulling that knot down, and then I pull it tight, and we make another knot, and we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to pull that down and pull it nice and tight, and there you can see our knot. Now I'm going to come back in with my GS Hypo Cement, and I'm going to dab the knot only. I do not want to get the glue on the strands. It can cause it to disintegrate. So do not get it on those little strands. We're going to trim, and then we're going to slide the knot into the bead. And there you have it, how to create stretch bracelets. These are some bracelets I created for my website. I do not have a source for these beads. Please like and subscribe at Denise Yezbak Moore. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Denise Yezbak Moore for daily beading inspiration. If you have any questions or comments, I would love for you to leave a comment. I answer everybody back, and I love corresponding with beaders worldwide. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time.